अस्सलाम वालेकुम, नमस्ते, सत श्री अकाल, क्या हाल चाल है आप सबका? मैं बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक हूँ एंड वेलकम टू द वैरायटी क्लब अनदर लाइव। और इस फेसबुक लाइव में, जैसे कि आपको मैंने पहले बताया था कि हमारे साथ एक परफॉर्मर होंगी और शी इज़ एन अमेजिंग कथक डांस आर्टिस्ट और इनके साथ हम इनका परफॉर्मेंस भी देखेंगे आज और इनसे कुछ बातें भी होंगी इनकी जर्नी के बारे में, इनकी बुक के बारे में। एंड आई होप कि आप सब ठीक ठाक हैं। बड़े दिनों के बाद आज आपसे मुलाकात हो रही है, सो इट्स रियली नाइस। एंड ऑफ कोर्स अगर आप ज्वाइन करते हैं लाइव में तो आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू सीइंग यू ऑल ऑन दिस लाइव। सो डू टेल मी, आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्चुअली फाइंड कि ये लाइव जो है मेरा ये कहाँ से स्टार्ट हो रहा है इस वक्त फेसबुक पे। तो यस, we've got it. Okay, so now I'm going to add Astha और आपकी मुलाकात मैं कराऊंगी Astha Dixit से. So let's meet her. Hi Astha.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
आदाब to everybody.
कैसी हैं आप?
बहुत अच्छी हूँ. Yes, lovely to be here. Looking forward to this wonderful chat for the Variety Club. So
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to
thank
have you.
you,
Absolutely
thank you.
stunning. एंड बहुत सारी बातें आपसे करनी है क्योंकि आपने इतना कुछ किया है इन योर लाइफ एंड आई नो कि यू आर बेस्ड इन लॉस एंजलिस बट एट द मोमेंट यू आर इन द यूके एंड हम
Correct,
यूके
correct.
में
I am here in the UK, and it's of course these are some very strange times. So this is what has led me to be here actually. But thank God it has been a time where I've been at least safe and in good hands. I have some family here in the UK, so and
That's
that's
nice.
how
That's
so
awesome.
happy to have met you. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. It's our pleasure. Everybody who's watching you. So we're getting people joining
Yes.
live stream as well, which is great. So
Yeah.
tell us about your journey. How did you get into dancing? Because I know कि आप पहले you've been working as well. So take us through your journey today.
So, you know, my family migrated to the US when I was very little. And I still recall my, being just barely, I was just this, this little. I was, just, in my, like, I was probably 8 when we moved to Los Angeles. And that time was very tough. I remember the culture shock, obviously, and and just kind of being out of my comfort zone. Obviously, we were all new to this, to this place. So, but obviously, I grew up with in your typical, teenage life, in LA, the teenage years, and then I basically I was in university, with my friends, and very typical kind of university life, partying and out with friends and this that. So and basically after we graduated, I was working. I started working. I was at a big firm, basically. As a software engineer. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. So, and I still recall in college, I would be, finishing up my, my assignments and, for my midterms and exams. And I would just be like rushing to campus to submit it just in time to be home so I can catch the party that night. It was like, that was what my years were like, at
Typical,
university. And,
typical teenage.
yeah, I mean very tough, like studies were very tough. I would be up, so anyway, so I even when I was working, then I basically I remember then when I started working in the corporate world, um there was something different, about me. I didn't want to be out every night with the colleagues, whatever. Like I would, many times be in my hotel, in my room, and reading, and reading on, I remember, I mean, reading on people like the autobiography I read of Paramahansa, and autobiography Yogi, Paramahansa
Mhm.
Yogananda, and I would just be, reading about all these very intellectual writers and speakers. So, that was my journey. And then, somewhere I decided to step out of corporate life
Okay.
and, and make what was my childhood passion, my dream, basically.
And
So
that's when you stepped into
I
dancing.
started, yes, exactly. So I started a dance company in LA with
Okay.
some friends of mine. And, what started out to be just a small company, basically, we ended up in a few years dancing in a commercial with Christina Aguilera, Pepsi
Wow.
commercial. Yes.
Wow.
So it, one thing led to another. So I basically, after that, I got an opportunity to come back to India
Uh-huh.
because I was contacted by an agency. I was there in LA, and I'm getting these calls, from this agency, and they had seen a portfolio of mine. And because on a visit to my parents had already moved back to India maybe a year or so before that. So as my father had gotten a really good opportunity through his company. So I was thinking, like, how am I gonna, this is not something that I really thought of at the time. So anyway, I decided to, I thought about it, and they were asking me to do a film, basically.
Right.
So yeah, so anyway, long story short, I just, I basically decided to come back and give it a try. So that brought me back to India, and that's where my journey is. I was, went from, you can say, one kind of a life in LA to the sets of a large movie, in the Telugu cinema. So that was a very interesting period of my life. So
It's very
um,
exciting.
yes.
Oh,
I have written about it actually in my book also, some of these experiences in Telugu cinema. And, I played a very interesting character. I was, basically the company was, the people who hired me, they brought me to play a role that I was representing like a dancer.
okay.
And that's what basically convinced me to do this role. So if you are okay with it, I wouldn't mind reading a few excerpts from my book about this part of my journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it.
Awesome.
So meanwhile, I'm just going to see who's joined us in
Awesome.
the stream. So
Yes.
I'm just going to say a few hellos to people. So
Thanks. Yeah, no, I got it.
he is with us. Hi. We've got
Yeah.
Farooq. Hi, Farooq. How are you? And lovely to see you, Astha. That's what they're saying. Baldeep Kaur Kathak.
Thank you so much.
Tina Bukhari, Ishan Saqib Mia is also watching. Simon Malik is watching. Muhammad Ali Sheikh and Saima is saying hi to us. And we've got Mughis Ilyas. Walaikum assalam. Mughis, kaise hain aap? And Tina Bukhari is saying hi. Janzeb Baloch is saying hi. Hello, Janzeb. Kaise hain? Saima Malik, thank you very much. Lovely. And she's saying, what a pretty guest. Yes, I know that she is beautiful. And
शुक्रिया
Zinat,
बहुत बहुत
hi,
अच्छा
Boogie.
बहुत
So,
बहुत शुक्रिया
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप सबका for
so
joining and of course अभी थोड़ी देर में अस्ता आपके लिए एक performance भी करेंगी. So yes, well, we're waiting for what you're going to read to us now from your book. The name of your book is A Door to Heaven. If is that
yes.
correct?
The title is, yes, you got it. And like I said, it's about my personal journey. Because, having lived, of course, grown up my, younger years and having traveled a lot since a young age, I basically, coming to India was a big shock for me initially. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what I speak about here. And, so I'll just read a few passages, and then, we can take it from there.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Hi, Mother Sheikh. Hi. Thank you for joining. Saying hi to everybody who's here right now. Okay.
Yes. Having come straight from Los Angeles, sarcasm was a big part of my personality. I was constantly amused at all the large number of male attendants, my makeup men, spot boys, lighting boys, running all around. I couldn't get over the fact that even my makeup artist was a male.
Yeah.
the whole South Indian phenomena seemed very different to me. I was kept like a princess amongst all the staff, and I couldn't understand a word that they were saying. But I just remember that the way they ended their sentences had this a slight punctuation of chestunara, and which just exhibited a lot of love. I was amused at the big hype of the industry for the big heroes and heroines. Their worship, the way they worshipped them, seemed a little odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
But without getting to know anyone or getting too much into the industry, I just simply focused on my work. Shot after shot, I just gave the camera my best. I would finish my shot, go into my, a van, and there were days where the shooting was very long and I was not even called for a shot, sometimes all day or for 2 days. But I would continually keep working. And only one thing I can remember, that I would really miss my dancing. I would miss my gurus. And the thought was always going on in the back of my head, why am I not why am I not dancing? Why am I not with my gurus right now? Um, People would line up to take my autograph and I would sign and say, do you know who I am? They would say, you're a heroine, right? And and I would say, yes, I am. But so this is how my experience was. I was very new to the industry, and I was given this big opportunity, big role. Um, so anyway, I remember the premiere of the release of my film. The
What was
entire
the
city
film
was
called?
plastered with posters of myself and my co-star. The production team did a great job of publicity, and we had to be ducked out of this movie cinema because of crowds everywhere. Um, After some time, I told my manager that I, want to basically start dancing again. He was very reluctant. He said that, you have a great career ahead of you, and this is something that you should really, stay with.
Mm.
Um, so, much to his dismay, I left the industry and went back to my gurus in Delhi.
Okay.
After that, I still kept getting offers from some of the very top production houses in Telugu cinema. And, my only question for them would be, please tell me what is my character, because I was very interested in doing something like, you know, I was very interested in doing something that was different or a unique character. Anyway, so I went back to Delhi and I continued to learn from my gurus. And there came a time then I broke away from the industry. There are
Okay.
some experiences that really shook me while I was
Mm-hmm.
there.
Okay.
And, because currently at this time, there's a lot of debate happening in India with things around Bollywood. I thought I
Right.
would bring up some of my own personal experiences. I
Sure.
was doing my press release, and
Mm-hmm.
I was asked by the photographers to come to the side to take take some photos for the press release. I
Mm-hmm.
posed under I stood in next to a staircase under the stairwell, and I to the request of the photographers, I took a seat on the stairs,
Right.
and one of the photographers, or maybe a few of them, went from below under the stairs and took some revealing photos.
Okay.
Upon their request only, I, did this. So I sat like this. So anyway, this was on the internet. This went on the
Okay.
internet. And so these are one of the things that really drove me, out of the industry. And then I just went back to my gurus and I just, started learning. I just went back into my training and I said, okay, this is maybe not where I'm meant to be, at this
No.
time.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. And I even, many people ask me, like, do you regret having left such a career behind?
Yeah.
I even went to Bombay for a short time. My manager sent me to meet some people there. Um, I met some very admirable people, but there was also some, casting directors who asked me those very typical compromising questions. So
Yes.
these are the things that, led to my going back to dance at that time.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, so I, so all my memories are going back to the time when I was, learning from my gurus, and I was learning all these fine nuances and smaller things about the dance, which I was very interested in gathering. And I went to there. I was learning from my. Basically, I was after I went into a different time period of my life
Right.
when I was just returning from another trip, and I contacted a a swami basically,
Okay.
and he had approached me in a function. My family, we all went to the mountains together, and
Right.
he had said even there that I came for you. And
Okay.
not really having understood what he said, I came back to Delhi and I called him. I contacted him, and he told me come to the center.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this beautiful center in the outskirts of Delhi,
Right.
and it was it was there was just I just remember there was a lot of people wearing these robes and sitting around in the around the in the halls, and I couldn't really understand what was happening. And so I said okay, and I was very at that time also just looked at everything with a grain of salt. I said okay, let me I anyway after that day or two at the center, I decided that there was something there that was pulling me, and I said okay, I need to go back. I will come back one more time.
Okay.
And the next weekend I went back. When I went back there, uh, something happened there that changed my life.
Okay.
So this is what I want to speak about, and I will just read a little bit more from my book, and because it was very much integral to my dance journey, and
Right.
I had been learning. People wouldn't understand. Even my parents would ask me, why are you doing riyaz for 5 hours? You already dance so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people wouldn't understand that. So this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I couldn't ever explain to people, but it's I said this is you will understand at some point.
Mm-hmm.
um, so So this is about my coming to the Osho Center.
Okay.
Um, and I did not, as I said, I was not expecting, anything like this when I went there. And I was, had already been performing and working in the dance field. And I was also working with the ministry as a dancer for the Kathak Kendra, for the Ministry of Culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that day at dinner, someone mentioned that the next day was Sannyas celebration.
Right.
Someone had given my name. I stayed silent and didn't say anything. The next evening approached. I came into the hallway wearing my white colored robe. There was a cushion lying in the center of the room,
Mm-hmm.
in front of next to three other cushions, in front of a large photograph of Osho.
Mm-hmm.
The music turned on and the meditation started. Everyone started dancing in a circle. Suddenly, I looked up and I could see my master's face in front of me.
Mm.
Everyone looked like they were dancing in delight around me, and I couldn't understand why everybody was looking so happy. I felt like I was in a dream. Suddenly, tears started rushing down my cheeks. I didn't know what to do. They gave me a mala
Mm-hmm.
with Osho's photo on it and touched me on my forehead with it. I closed my eyes. everything felt like I had come here for a reason.
Right.
I was completely overfilled with joy.
Mm-hmm.
I got up from my cushion and everyone hugged me, and I felt like I had arrived home. That evening, a sweet elderly man with a gentle smile came up to me and said, "I feel like I know you from somewhere."
Mm.
I looked at him and shrugged. After the ceremony, the man who had given me the garland, the mala, came. I asked me to come to his room. He gave me a very special a photo, a poster which read, "Live, love, laughter, dance your way to God."
Mm. So that was your indication for where you are today.
I think is there a connection problem? Are you able to see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I just this is yeah, basically this is just a little bit of my experience upon going to this center, going to this ashram. And so then after that, I was performing, and any chance I would get on the weekends or maybe a day or two in the middle, I would go and I would attend these sessions, and we would dance together in the evenings. And I would, even throughout the day, I would be listening to this Osho's voice, my master's voice, while sitting
Right.
outside in the sun. So it was a time when I of deep reflection, a time
Mm.
of getting to know myself. And there, what I wanted to share is I discovered something. As I was listening to Osho's voice one day, he was speaking about some of the Sufi saints.
Right.
And, his voice carried through my ears, and he said something. And the poetry, which I can get to later, I can even read it to you. It spoke to me so deeply that tears again started flowing from my eyes, and I actually uh, went to a transformation, into a transcendence of seeing myself as somebody who can carry these messages
Right.
through my dance. And from there, it was really easy. I just
Mm.
approached Muzaffar Sahab. I went to his office. I met him, and we started working together. So
It kind of opened up a new path for you.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
So that's
wonderful.
just a bit of, a bit of my book, which I've told you already. It's my own inner journey, my personal journey, and there's, so many stories about my times in these places and my travels as I'm dancing throughout the world, and how I managed to basically do both. After that, I would be back and forth, basically. Whatever chance I got, I would be in the center with my circle of Osho friends, circle of sannyasis. And at the same time, I was performing simultaneously in multiple productions, and on the weekends, and starring in different musicals and plays throughout in different cities of India. And that was how this period of my life, this journey went.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
we're waiting to see you perform as well. So I know everybody's.
Yes.
So are you ready to perform for us?
Absolutely, absolutely. So when I had begun with my first guru,
Yes.
Harish Gangani of the Jaipur Gharana. He taught me, some beautiful things. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, one of the things that always fascinated me the most about Kathak is the improvisation element.
Right.
How, the musicians, we all just gather, and, I have some concerts that I have done, which I would have loved to also share with everybody here. Maybe we can send them at a later stage, where
Yes.
artists, we all just met on stage, and, maybe spoke on the phone briefly, or maybe, the night before just discussed what we would do. And, that's how the dance would flow. So I am going to present one of these pieces that my guru taught me. And believe it or not, I have not heard this in probably 10 years.
Wow.
So, uh, with all your permission, I will go into the dance.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so अभी थोड़ी देर में आस्था will be ready to perform for everybody. और जैसे कि आपने भी उनकी journey के बारे में भी सुना, and she's written a book as well. And so अगर कोई और आप आगे पढ़ना चाहते हैं तो इनकी किताब है Door to Heaven. You can read more about and get to know Astha a little bit better and her journey, and how she got into all of this. And अस्ता के परफॉर्मेंसेस जो हैं उसमें काफ़ी सूफीज़म है, सूफी म्यूजिक पे वो डांस भी करती हैं. And right, so we've got more people joining us, and Muhammad Mansoor. Hi, Muhammad Mansoor. Charles John is also watching, and Amal Singh. Hi, Amal Singh. और कौन है जी? सादिया अहमद है हमारे साथ, मुस्तफ़ा वक्कार. इट्स नाइस टू सी यू ऑल, और काफ़ी दिनों के बाद आज ये लाइव हो रहा है. एंड अब हमारे लाइव जो हैं वो रेगुलरली होते रहेंगे. सो अगेन हम लोग एक और लाइव करने वाले हैं विद द मेंबर्स वेरी सून. सो जो भी द वैरायटी क्लब के मेंबर्स हैं उनके साथ हम लोग लाइव करेंगे, which will be really nice. और I'm just waiting for Astha to start her performance. लेकिन थोड़ा सा टाइम है उसमें. अगर आप लोग कोई कुछ ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं in the members live तो भी ज़रूर बताएं, और let me know कि आपको वैरायटी क्लब की कौन सी चीज़ सबसे अच्छी लग रही है इस वक्त so far. वैसे तो सारे मेंबर्स जो हैं वो बहुत एक्टिव हैं और बड़ी ज़बरदस्त मज़े मज़े की पोस्ट भी आती रहती है. So just like me, I think आप सब भी enjoy कर रहे हैं watching and sort of taking part in the variety club. और बड़े अच्छे ज़बरदस्त हमारे ग्रुप मेंबर्स हैं. एवरीबडी इज सो वंडरफुल. और हाँ, मैं ये भी कहना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आप लोगों में कोई टैलेंट है जो आप चाहते हैं सबके साथ शेयर करना, आप एक लाइव करना चाहते हैं तो डू लेट मी नो. ओके, सो वी गोइंग टू गो टू आस्था नाउ और उनका परफॉर्मेंस हम देखते हैं.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you so
कमाल
much.
कर दिया आस्था. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Amazing.
Wow,
Amazing.
that was absolutely wonderful, Astha. Thank you so
दादा जी
much.
कहाँ हैं
That
आप?
was amazing. Amazing. मैं तो खो गई थी आपके डांस में. I think everybody who is watching is
कोई बात नहीं,
also
हम भी खो जाते हैं.
वाकई में क्या खूबसूरत and very beautiful and graceful movements and wonderful. Thank you so much, Astha. That was a
Thank
beautiful
you.
performance.
Thank you.
You must be
So yes, it
now.
is like I said, ये हमारा सफर ऐसा है जो हमें अलग अलग मंजिलों तक ले जाता है और हमें बस अपना सब्र रखना पड़ता है और अपना विश्वास पूरा कायम रखना पड़ता है और इसमें जरूर कामयाबी मिलती है और जैसे मैंने आपको बताया अभी कि मैं एक तरीके की स्टारडम से निकल के इस राह पे आई तो इसका भी कोई मतलब जरूर होगा और आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल to all the people in my life who have supported me in this journey, of course, like my parents and a lot of other great personalities in our country. So बस ये है कि आज की हालात देख के थोड़ा सा वो खराब लगता है, परेशानी होती है. तो हमारा ये समय कहाँ पहुंच गया है, कहाँ था और तो anyways.
Anyway, we're making the most of it और I think इसकी वजह से ये इतना कुछ हम लोग जो through the internet connect हो रहे हैं with various people,
Yes.
even yourself and me and the variety club people, हम सब लोग एक दूसरे के साथ I think इस समय की वजह से जुड़ते जा रहे हैं.
हाँ.
ये ऐसा टाइम है कि हम फिजिकली कम मिलते
आप सही कह रही हैं सादिया जी, डेफिनेटली, बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं होता तो हमें मिलने का मौका नहीं मिलता और ऐसे लोग हमारी लाइफ में नहीं आते तो perhaps this is a time for us to count our blessings and which is I think by far, but जरूर कई चीजें देख के जो अभी इस समय पे हो रही हैं थोड़ा दुख तो होता है, but anyway not to get burdened by those, so yes.
So where do you see yourself after this period जो ये हम इससे निकलेंगे तो आप क्या करना चाहती हैं और
yes so so I was, as I said, mentioned that मैं actually last year LA वापस चली गई थी and I went back and I visited all my old family, relatives, and friends in the city, and I also got to meet everybody in different gatherings. So I was उसकी वजह से I suddenly had to return back to India because I was anyway due to come back for another tour in Saudi Arabia, but it just got a little bit, the time changed a bit and it got, I had to come a few months earlier because of a slight injury I had. I had a very minor injury. So I since then, after the lockdown started, I was in touch with a very beautiful person from back in the day who when I was touring, I was in Lebanon for a production and I was just completing 3 months, I'm sorry, of a tour and yes, and on the Silk Route, basically it was what the countries on the Silk Road. So I had there was somebody, a really sweet, a nice girl across the street from our hotel who decided to host us one evening for a gathering because we were about to leave the next day. So I entered, I went to this party and entered and met this very beautiful person. And this person, it's what can I say? I mean, we just, I was probably too much in a rush to even, to very silly of me that I didn't pay more attention to him, because I just kind of rushed out, and I was eager to get back to India and wrap up my concert and tour with my, with my group. And we had just finished 3 months of a very successful project. So I probably didn't pay much attention to him. But anyhow, he, found me, kept looking, kept finding me after some time, even when I went back to Mumbai 3 years ago, and spoke to me then, and then said that, I want to meet you. So finally, after my Saudi trip, just at the beginning of this year, which was in February, we were due to go to Egypt, um, and with another company, and we got a call from the ambassador in Egypt, and he said, through the company, that we just found out that somebody on the Nile cruise just got this thing called Corona, and he said that, I don't recommend that my people come. So there our tour got cancelled, and so I was, had all this free time, and then I was thinking, that I should probably go meet this, So that's how that brought me, actually, because I was there at. In the Paris airport after trying to go to Lebanon, and after they refused me entry, and then my mother calls and says that, why don't you go to your sister's house? She's in UK right now. So I went to went to her house, and it's been now, I would say, 4 months, and it's it's a time which I have to say that I wouldn't have, it just flew by, it just went by. So yes.
So you kind of at the moment just doing things in the UK, and obviously you're not able to.
So I'm basically this is a difficult time for all of us, because Sadia, I have to say कि हम तो हम हर एक की स्थिति अलग है अभी, but हमारे देश में ये ऐसी स्थिति है कि basically the artists right now are going through a very tough time. And I'm wondering why, obviously everybody talks about, the different, the travel industry and the businesses and all, but very little do we hear. Nobody speaks about the artists, and I'm very lucky to have, come from a fairly decent, well-to-do family, which I can fall back on during this time. But, this time is very difficult for the artists across the world. So, a dear friend of mine, yes. So, without these platforms, without the mediums of shows and performances, where is how is the artist going to survive? And these legacies, which is the traditions of our country, which is where the heritage comes from, and that's the identities of a country, so without these, it's very difficult for these legacies to survive, without the support of the government in supporting this. So it's a little bit difficult, because we have, like yearly we do these festivals and musicals in Lucknow in India, where we talk about these different stories, and without these platforms to allow dance and music to come out, these things will die. So
I think it's just a short period where everybody's kind of, stuck in this, but hopefully I think we'll come up soon enough.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we did one of the more well-known ones, the popular ones, we did staged on the banks of the Gomti River in Lucknow, where it was staged beautifully about the invasion of Lucknow, during the British time. And yes, it was done by the Rumi Foundation and Muzaffar Sahab. So it's just a tragedy, because these are the things which bring such awareness. These are the things which connect people through dance and music. And yes. So it's it's my sincere pledge, or my plea, in fact, to the governments to give some attention also to the artists.
Absolutely. And we're trying to keep this alive a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
With these lives, and I think a lot of people are doing them, and I think it's kind of serving a purpose. Everybody is still sort of staying within the media in a way, even if it's social media. तो वो सब
Yes,
देखते
yes,
हैं, and the artist is there, they're seen. So at the moment,
yes,
अभी तो फिलहाल यही है, but hopefully in time, um,
yes.
you'll be able to perform with
Absolutely, absolutely.
small numbers.
And it's like I said, it's a time for reflection. A big change in this world, obviously, and but I think that attention should be given to the artists
Absolutely.
equally.
I know.
So
A lot of
yes,
industries are suffering. A lot of industries are suffering at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even if you
So
look at the movie industry.
yes, yes, yes. So I was just speaking to, my roommate who I'm staying with, my friend, and she was just telling me that how things in obviously around the world are changing, and yeah, and I feel, that this is a time for us to understand that it's not just about what we are going through. It's really about the world at large. So like I mentioned, many of you may be aware about the blasts in Lebanon. So just to keep everything in perspective, and to send obviously our wishes for the well-being of everybody who's suffering at this time. So yes,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely. Yes, we've got everybody talking about your performance as well. So absolutely eye-catching and mesmerizing. So
thank you.
giving you claps. The मजे की बात है कि you can see the comments and you can see all the claps. You can see all the hearts.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, मुझे भी नजर आ रहे हैं. So I really appreciate. Thank you to everybody. अगर आप चाहें तो I can end with the performance, or if there's any questions, we can, however you want to.
Absolutely.
steer
No,
the
we would
yeah.
love to watch another performance. The only one thing I'm going to ask is
Yes.
if you can bring your iPad closer to where the camera is, because the music wasn't loud enough. So if you
Okay.
bring it back there, if you bring it here, and then
Certainly.
we'll be able to hear the
Certainly.
music a bit. So thank you.
Certainly.
I'm going to leave you with the performance, and a really, really big thank you for joining us today and performing for us, and also giving us your time.
Thank you so much, Sadia. And as I was mentioning my book, if I can, the people that are commenting also, the wonderful people that are following this conversation, they can, if I can point them to, I've basically have my website, which is www.yourstrulyastha.com. And they can, I can, get their comments and feedback there. Also, they can, subscribe, or, leave something on the website for me to read. Yes, and I'll be able to send them regular updates on the book also.
Absolutely. And what we'll do is within the group and the page,
yes,
send me a link. I will post it, and everybody can click on it and go through it, so it'd be easier for people to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. So as my concluding performance, I have chosen a piece which is, like I said, in this time where we're, I feel that we need to come together to remember the spirit of our arts and culture. It's a beautiful mand from originally, from Rajasthan, and it's a piece that I did at the first Jahane Khusro, and so it's that's how it began. I mean, my journey, and so I want to just basically remind everyone that this is such a platform, and I will go right into the dance. So if you don't mind, yes.
Thank you so much, Astha. I'm going to add you back in while you get yourself set up.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. I'll just bring my speaker closer, as you said, and
thank you. ओके और अभी अस्ता का दूसरा डांस परफॉर्मेंस भी आप देखने वाले हैं एंड इजंट शी एब्सोल्युटली वंडरफुल ओह माय गॉड दोस मूव्स और मुझे तो देख के ये लग रहा था कि मैं देख देख के थक रही थी सो आई मीन शी इज गॉट सम एनर्जी एंड आई थिंक शी इज एब्सोल्युटली ब्यूटीफुल आपके कमेंट से भी पता चल रहा है कि यू नो यू एंजॉयड द परफॉर्मेंस एंड यस शी इज अमेजिंग और अभी जो लास्ट परफॉर्मेंस है शी इज गोइंग टू लीव अस विद दिस लास्ट परफॉर्मेंस राना फारूक यू मिस्ड वन नाउ that's not very good क्योंकि you're lucky कि she's Astha is performing once again, और अभी आप उनका दूसरा performance जो है वो देख सकते हैं. I'm just waiting for her to be ready. और फिर देख सकते हैं absolutely beautiful classical Kathak dance. I mean, I don't know कि इसमें और भी कुछ dances mix हुए हैं. I mean, I only know that it's Kathak, and really enjoyed it. And उन्होंने अपनी book के बारे में भी सबको बताया है. So, oh, you're stuck at work. That's a shame. Doesn't matter. If you can't watch it, Farooq, then you can watch it afterwards. क्योंकि बाद में भी हम इसको शेयर करते रहेंगे और पेज पे तो ये होगा ही. और yes, so you can catch the next performance. थोड़ा सा देख लें काम पे. Volume बेशक थोड़ी सी कम कर दे. You can watch it there. And like we said, there will be another live on Sunday. और Sunday को members के साथ हम live करेंगे once again. तो something like जो हमने पहले किया था previously, like an antakshari, come sort of, we'll talk about things as well. So everybody who wants to join, ज़रूर बताएं. And I think Astha might just be getting ready, so I'll just give her another few minutes. और फिर हम उनको दोबारा से आपके सामने live कर देंगे. And बाकी let's all enjoy ourselves on Sunday, because Sunday को I think हम लोग the same time रखेंगे around about 6 o'clock ish. So आप सब join कर सकते हैं. और जो live में आना चाहते हैं मुझे ज़रूर बताएं. Because जितने ज़्यादा members आते हैं उतना ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है, उतनी ज़्यादा गपशप लगती है. क्योंकि I think the last time we did it, everybody really enjoyed it. और फिर कुछ अरसे के लिए we stopped because of Muharram as well. तो उसकी वजह से भी हमने 10-12 दिन की, बल्कि थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही की break ली थी. So anyway, we will start again Sunday or Friday. No, change हो गया फारूक. Sunday को करेंगे, Sunday को, if that's okay. I hope you can join on Sunday. Okay, I'm going to add Astha back because I think she might just be ready now. और फिर ये last performance उनका है, आप देखिए. और फिर I will see you very soon. And you can always inbox me or email me and let me know अगर आप join करना चाहते हैं. So it's bye from me and over to Astha.
Hi, Sadia.
Hi.
We're just getting ready, for the performance. Yeah, I just wanted to. I was here, as I mentioned, on this lockdown, and of course, I'm really eager to. I was going to meet my fiance, basically, so I'm you can say that I hope that I got a chance to meet him in the middle also, but then of course I left.
What you were talking about, because you said you met this person. I was so intrigued to know who this person was.
Yes. So, yeah, as I mentioned, I was when I was leaving just Beirut after a long project, we briefly met, and as I said, I've just been very busy with my tours and probably didn't, give enough attention or enough focus to, this aspect. So I'm here, and I was, just with him like a few weeks, in fact, just a few days before the blast. And then I came back here, and like I said, it's a difficult time. It's a very difficult time. So I want to just, send out a message to everyone that if, we can keep everybody in our prayers at this time, so that that part of the country, that part of the world also is in a very difficult period. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just we're just going through our. Do you have to save it somewhere? It's not open.
Okay, so just getting herself ready, and
this one, yeah.
So आप लोग जो है अभी just be ready for this. I've got some more people joining us. Sangor Biswas is also with us. Hi. और इसके अलावा from the Nahinamir has joined. Sanjay Chandra has joined as well. Zebi Jamal. Hi Zebi. Shaukat Nisra. Hello. And Najma Mia is also with us, and Jay is also with us. Hi everybody. Hamayo. Hi Hamayo. How are you? कैसे हो जी? कौन है? Muhammad Imran Malik is watching. And who else? मैं किसी का नाम मिस ना कर दूं. बाद में मुझे लगता है कि मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों के नाम क्योंकि वो नजर आते हैं, इसलिए मैंने कभी-कभी मैं Miss Lata Sharma is also with us. Hi, Lata. How are you? And Seher Kazi. Hi, Seher Kazi. कैसी हैं आप? Nice to see you all, and thank you everybody. Rifat Gulzar ji is also with us. Ritu Gandotra is also with us. Anil Sheikh as well. So Amal.
Sadia, I'm just having some technical problems from my end. I don't know if I'll be able to play this track.
Oh no. Is there
Uh,
another one you can perform to, or
Actually, I just basically transferred a few tracks onto the iPad, which is I'm using right now. So I think it's I don't have, it's a little difficult to get the other ones, into the iPad.
Okay, never
Yes.
mind.
But like I told you, if I will send you some links, and you can definitely share them with the group. And like I said, I've done some different productions, musicals and stage productions. So I would love to have that up in your Facebook page, and then we can maybe schedule something else at a later time where I can perform longer time.
We've just had a request from somebody who says, "हम पे ये किसने हरा रंग डाला?" Performance, please. Would you put that on YouTube and dance to it? Would you be able to do that? And then we can kind of end with that.
Yeah, actually, without getting the permission of of Muzaffar Sahab, I will then if it's okay, I will then play something from YouTube, which is one of my my first Jahani Khusro, or it was the Jahani Khusro I did in the year 2013. So I will, if that's okay with you, I will play it from YouTube. So
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. Just as long as we get to see you perform, that'll be okay. Barat are watching with me. Ji हमारी सारी बारात है, and it's that. Of course, आप सब लोग आते हैं, so it's lovely. It's actually really nice to see you all joining. And thank you so much कि आप सब लोग अपना कीमती time देते हैं और you watch. And of course, big thanks to all the guests who आते हैं. शाम ढली घर शाम आए ओ शाम गई घर शाम आए मनवा कैसे चैना पाए नैनों में शाम विराज नैनों में शाम विराज मेरे शाम मेरे शाम मेरे शाम नैनो में शाम मोरे श्यामा 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 जो
Amazing. Astha, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Astha.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Variety Club for hosting me on this very special event. I know it was right after Muharram, and I'm really happy that so many people could make it. And thank you, Sadia.
Thank you for such a wonderful, wonderful performance to leave us with, and of course to remember you by. And it was an absolute pleasure. You are just amazing, Astha.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All the best with everything that you do. And of course, agar hame dobara aap kabhi waqt dengi, to it'll be an honor and pleasure to have you back. So thank you for today.
Absolutely, it would be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much everybody for joining us today. और आपने देखा अस्था का absolutely mind-blowing performance. I think just so beautiful, so graceful, and isn't she herself so beautiful? So आपसे next live में फिर मुलाकात होगी. Thank you for joining us today, and see you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.